You are welcome to this program, Ehiliz Talk Show. God bless you, really good. VividView.
Say and do it.
It takes courage to change. Say something, somebody.
My name is Moses Chukwukadebe-Omosu. The teaser, it takes courage to change. My opinion is, when you speak of this word, it tells you the need to understand that you are not always right. And for you to allow somebody's opinion to rule over yours, it takes understanding. We always need to understand that for we to actually succeed, we need to fail over time. So for we to actually succeed, we fail, and in that failure, we learn the change and improve. Thank you.
It takes courage to change. I'm Mr. Champion. Courage is something that it's very scarce. And of course, it talks about being fearless, being bold, being willing, being determined to have a different pattern. Of course, they said the only constant thing is change. So to have that change, courage is necessary. Determination is necessary to effect it. And so to have an alteration to become different, courage is a critical factor. Thank you.
It takes courage to change. My name is Selina. I would say to start a change or to spark an evolution, there is need for you to be courageous and be bold about what you believe in to stand out. Thank you.
I am most Mark David. The teaser, it takes courage to change. From my point of view, I will explain it that only those who are brave-hearted and those who are willing to adapt to new development will understand what this teaser is saying. Because even in a society, you notice that when a particular government is bringing in a change, so many people will complain. But only those who understand the need for growth, only those who understand the need to forge ahead will say yes, no matter what it will cost us, we adapt to it with time. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your contributions. It takes courage to change, especially your lifestyle at this critical moment in Nigeria. You have opportunity to stay in 3-bedroom flat, and the rent now is ×3. Why will you still remain there? Move down to 2 that you can afford now. There's no need to remain there because of pride or because of shame. It takes courage to do that, to cut your coat according to your material and size. It takes courage also to take instruction or advice from somebody else that you feel knows better than you. It takes courage. So it's actually all-encompassing in almost every facet of life. It takes courage for one to take a bold decision to do something else. Change your character. It takes courage to live from bad to good. It takes courage to live from A to B. So it's all-encompassing. You really need to, as young youths growing up, listen to advice. Take courage and do the right thing. Move from bad to good, from negative to positive. I just mentioned lifestyle. You are smoking before, you take substance. Now things are getting more expensive. How are you going to continue with that? It takes courage to quit. It takes courage to quit. I can't afford it. For those of us who women like us like to buy a Shebi and all, which one you prefer? You prefer to buy a Shebi now 50,000 or 70,000, as the case may be, and leave giving food at home, even when you have a similar color, for example. So it takes courage to change, to remain and be resolute in your decision. So I think this is enough for now. We continue with our discussion for the day. VividView.
Say and do it.
Livelihood of a common man or a low-income earner is in dire danger. We need some drastic steps to correct this ugly situation. Inflation amidst security challenges is the topic for today's discussion. It is time for a break, and when we come back, the guests will be introduced. Please stay with us. VividView.
Say and do it.
What gives birth to relationship first is love.
Somebody lost his wife, not his first wife. The next question is, why did his first wife die and the second wife die? We have no emotional balance, no emotional control.
Ladies will say, I don't like this man. Why don't you like him? He doesn't beat me. Because my father used to beat my mother.
We
In Nigeria, we have about 2.2 million people living with disabilities.
Wonderful.
We have the adults who are going through so much stress today, and they can't even have their head up in the society.
You that is bad, you are hitting your wife all the time. Stop beating. Don't turn your wife to punching bag.
Join us every Sunday on VividView with Ehiliz.
You see me, they wear native. It is a planner. It's in a fashion. Anywhere they do their enter chop rice.
I know go give up till you go better for me.
Welcome back. In case you're just joining us, the topic again is inflation amidst security challenges. And with me in the studio is a security consultant. Let's make welcome Mr. Michael Sam Wobo.
Thank you. VividView.
Say and do it. Before discussion proper, please follow us on social media handles are displayed on the screen. Ms. Michael, you're welcome again.
Thank you very much.
All right, please, your introduction, definition, and perspective on this subject matter.
Inflation. Basic man definition, price of goods high interest rates, low production, plenty money chasing fewer goods, supply not meeting demand, inflation. My perspectives to it, especially in our country, is the fact that a couple of factors that have resulted in our present situation are self-inflicted. If you look back,
self-inflicted, so
yes.
not government all the time.
Self-inflicted plus government as well. And the last administration went into recession 3 times. And for close observers, you have to understand what that means. That things went really bad. Another self-inflicting factor, corruption was at its highest. Then we cultivated a culture of rent-seeking. You had people carrying briefcases, pursuing contracts, whether real or imagined, people engaging in nefarious activities, drug dealing, and what have you. All those things don't contribute to the growth of the economy. You had warehouses closing down, being turned into churches. Pastors turning into prosperity preachers. You know, we threw values to the dogs. So those are my perspectives to it. And then we need to look inwards to look at our lifestyle and make adjustments where necessary. How do I mean? We still have people who do not cut their cloth according to their sizes. We still have people who live ostentatiously. We still have people who are still trying to impress friends, neighbors, and family members. Meanwhile, beneath, a lot of issues
living false life.
Yes, a lot of issues are bound. So there are a couple of things we can do. First of all is to begin to adjust to the reality. When we adjust to the reality, then we engage in productive activity. It will help to bounce back the economy. And I mean collective efforts, government and individuals. If you look at the government, it doesn't look like they are sacrificing as much as they want us to. There's still a lifestyle of ostentation.
Yes, so.
Amongst them. You know, they exhibit that a lot. The jeep of one senator or National Assembly member is over 150 million. And you have 360 members.
Multiply that and see how much it is.
What stopped them from using basic cars? If we are truly a country going through economic hardship. The other day, it was mooted that the presidency was interested in getting private jets for the president and for the device. We're in dire straits. We need to be real to ourselves. If we're asking the common persons
about minimum wage increase.
If we're asking people to tighten their belts, those in government too need to, because they are leaders and they are the people we follow.
Yes.
So they have to live by example. They have to also lead by example. These are some of the perspectives I want to bring to the fore right now.
All right. Thank you so much. Then how does inflation affect or give rise to security challenges?
Okay, I'll first look at the security challenges that get to contribute to inflation.
Inflation, yeah.
One, like I said before, government has a role.
To play.
We also have a role as individuals. We are comfortably sitting down here, but in places like Zamfara, in Kebbi, in Katsina, in Borno, in Benue,
They can't gather like this.
in Plateau,
Or gather in fear.
in places like Taraba. These are major food production zones. And unfortunately, we have conflicts in all of them. Farmers are not being able to go to the farms anymore. And just last week, a notorious bandit in Zamfara, Dan Karami, levied 3 communities to pay him 29 million. Otherwise, we know what will happen. It's either they get killed on their farms or they get kidnapped. And don't forget that we have a lot of people in IDPs, a lot of them farmers. So production has reduced, has fallen, which has led to increase in the prices of foods. In the last couple of weeks, we've been hearing prices about tomato and yam and what have you. Buying a tuber of yam for as much as 8,000 naira.
They not even cut it into pieces so that people can afford it.
It's not something I ever thought of. Why is it happening? When we sit down here and we hear of the header farmers clash in places like Benue, farmers are being displaced from their communities and their farms.
Yeah.
This is what happens. They go to their barns and burn the yams that have been harvested. So you have reduced supply, and then there's more demand, and the prices go out of reach.
Of course.
For those of us who did basic economics, you know that demand and supply is what determines the prices of goods. So you see where security affects. Then another factor that you have to look at is the cost of transportation. Yes, diesel has been, the subsidy on diesel was removed a while back. But you see, the spiral effect of the recent removal of subsidy on petroleum products, especially PMS, has also affected a lot of other facets. If you have to bring, let's say, tomatoes from Katsina State to Lagos, it will cost you 3.3 million naira. Transport cost. Transport cost includes the fact that you will pass through over 50 local governments, and each of those local governments, you pay a produce tax of about 10,000 naira. You see those people that stand on the road with sticks and all that, stopping trailers. Those are the people that do all that.
They collect tax.
They collect them, so it adds. Then when the trailer gets to mile 12, he pays union dues to be allowed to come in. Union dues as little as minimum as maybe 500,000, half a million. To offload a 14-tire trailer, you will pay like 300,000 to those who will offload. So you see, these are the things that add up to.
They are all man-made. Yes.
They are all man-made. So we really need to address ourselves. Inflation is making things more difficult. Insecurity has contributed to inflation. Inflation is now giving back, is now fighting back. People are losing jobs. Production has reduced.
Drastically.
And man must survive. Man has always been built to survive. Whether through legitimate means.
Man must survive, man must work.
Man must work, like they say.
Yes.
So you now see people resorting to illegitimate means. And to an extent, they are there in our face and they have become the sort of role models to some people. You see people who made money from questionable means, giving front row in churches. They are the people who dictate the social scenes. These are issues that we really have to tackle. We have issues of social reorientation. We have issues of economic policies. We have issues of security. So inflation has led to a huge sense. People, traffic robberies on the increase, car thefts, kidnapping. A lot of these kidnappers, when you arrest them, you see that some of them are graduates.
Yes, sir.
One chance. So it has pushed people to crime, all in the bid to survive or to make it. My take.
Thank you so much. While you are speaking, you mentioned that even these people that have money from questionable means are being given front rows in the churches. And I want to say that's not only churches, even in the community.
Very true.
And they will ask him for chieftaincy titles here and there.
Very true.
Because and nobody asks, how do you make your money? It's really so sad. So like you said, that even us, we are individual contributing to what we are facing now. So it's not only government. Because these prices you mentioned now, those that mount all those on the roads collecting money, it's not government now. The money enters their pocket. And so these farmers need to build those costs in the prices they are selling. That's why it's so high. Some of them will even be vandalized. I think they show some of them with a trailer, they will just fall into a trailer, start removing the goods and all that. And some of these farmers too borrow money from microfinance banks to do their farm and with intention to pay back. But now that they face this kind of challenge, they will not be able to pay back. Bank will also be on their neck and all that. So you can find that this thing is just go round. But we pray that God will still help us, our present government, to look at it holistically and see what they can do. There's nothing that cannot really be done. We're talking about change and we want this real change, not haphazardly change, real change. If we stop this issue of insecurity, there will be a lot of changes in our land. People can now move freely, go to their farm freely, and even sleep with their both eyes closed. Now, we suggest suggestions on how we can revamp our economy and security architecture to stem the tide of crime and violence. How do we do that?
Yes. Let's start with inflation. Basically, you see, it has affected us across sectors.
Mm-hmm.
House rents, school fees, but most especially food.
Food.
Well, I want to draw our minds back. The government has spent 1 year. Is there a definite agricultural policy that has been put in place and been pursued vigorously that we know that in the next 1 year things will turn around? I dare say no.
None that I know.
Is the Minister for Agriculture somebody from that sector with enough knowledge? I don't think so. The last administration, we had a minister called Sanogo. Rather than focus on agriculture, he was building mosques as a way of giving back to his own society. The present Minister of Agriculture is building a 500 million sports complex.
Can you imagine?
What happened to us making fertilizer available to farmers? What happened to us making tractors available to farmers? What happened to the Minister of Agriculture bringing these displaced farmers together, taking their plight and engaging the Ministry of Defense or the security authorities and letting them understand this plight?
What happened also to the rice farm we had during Buhari? Did they also go Buhari no more rice again? Because in his own time there was rice.
You see, the security issues keep escalating.
They showed us now heaps of
yes. But we all know the truth. The truth is beginning to emerge.
Unfold. Yes.
One, insecurity has made those rice farmers, a couple of them, to run, which was what made Lagos change the policy of having a rice mill at Imota. Before it was the lake rice coming from Kebbi, but insecurity has contributed to that aspect. But then again, if you look at revelations coming from the CBN in recent times as a result of the probe, just how many days ago, $6.2 million was withdrawn with a fake memo from the presidency, and then they shared it under 24 hours. And these people are still walking free, no consequences. That is what emboldens the criminals in our society.
To do more, yes.
And then we begin to
no sanction,
slide.
No punishment.
They bought banks. A new bank came and bought over a very big bank with illicit funds. So these are the issues. Then when we come to, like I said, is government doing enough? Then for we as individuals,
are we also happy matters that is affecting us? No, still.
Do we share information with security agencies when we have criminal activities around us? No. How well do we even trust the people we share information with? So these are issues that we need to look into. Various players in the economy have their role to play. Like I said, all facets of life are all related.
Yes.
Once you give something a negative push or a negative pull somewhere, it goes round. So we have to go back to the drawing board. We have to understand or really focus on what we really want. What do we want as a nation? Issues of insecurity. The other day we heard of a soldier killing himself in Aba. That he was one of those who masterminded the killings of the 5 soldiers that lost their lives recently.
Can you imagine?
We have bad eggs in our military and in our security forces.
That is why the problem I see lingering now.
We have soldiers have been arrested carrying ammunition to go and sell to criminals.
To the criminals.
There's
They
a
be arrested,
lot we
giving
can
them their
do.
uniform. So when they stop you, flag
There's
you
a
like think
lot
they're
we can
police.
do. It's
They
not
are
just
think they're
enough.
soldier.
Then
But
again,
they are
on the
not.
parts of government, what policies are being put in place? Monetary policies. Yes, okay. Interest rates have been raised. It is one of the instruments to arrest inflation. How well those farm produce? How well has government created the social infrastructure for farmers to be able to move their goods freely to the market? How many states are connected to our rail system? If those goods are moved through the rail system and they are moved, the perishable goods are moved in containerized compartments where you have cooling and good storage facilities.
Of course.
They will move without having to pass through those local government officials. They will move.
The roads are not good.
They will not pass through bad roads. The negative-minded security elements who tax these people will be also
avoided
so
too.
The price of goods will come down. What is government doing in that direction? I don't see anything. All we hear of, okay, Lagos coastline. They say it's going to have a rail. How long is it going to be done? We don't know. What happened to the Eastern Rail line that was being muted in the last administration? What has happened with the Lagos to Kano rail line that was being muted in the last administration? These rail lines can help us move goods and people at cheaper cost. If you spend less and you save more, it will help to boost the economy.
Yes.
Boy, there is no talk in that direction. Rather, we keep hearing about jets, jeeps, budget padding, and then what have you. So
It's
these
so
are my
sad.
take.
So sad.
We need to do a lot. We need to hold government accountable. Be it your local government chairman, your councillor, the governor. Speak out without insulting anybody. We have avenues, we have platforms, social media. Speak without insulting people. Put your ideas out there.
Yeah.
Put them on their toes. Make them accountable. Follow trends. Government, like I said, government has to look for a way to make produce available. They have to look for a way. There are a lot of people in IDPs, farmers. They just wake up, they get ration in the morning, get ration in the afternoon. Their children are not going to school. What is the future of those children? Where will they be in 10 years, 18 years? They are breeding another set of criminals.
Exactly. Now what it is.
So there's a lot for us to think about deeply.
All right, thank you so much. We'll take a break now. We'll come out and continue. Vivid View.
Say and do it.
The men are in more danger. More danger in the sense that when your eye is not single, you must make a mistake. You must make a mistake in relationship. That is why if you have one faithful girl who have shown you acceptance,
stay put,
accept you for who you are, and your eye is still outside, don't worry. Very soon you will go and marry Gomorrah.
Welcome back. We're still discussing inflation amidst security challenges. And of course, our guest has actually been opening our eyes to certain things happening in our environment and in our country. We just pray that God will help us, because truly, if those who are in authority, if some of them are not involved in this, will have gotten a headway from these challenges that have been before us. But because some of them are deeply involved in this, that's why we see where we are. I do not see what we take our soldiers really to visit Zambisa forest and all that and deal with all those people who are disturbing us, whatever name they bear. But because some of them are also involved, it's too sad, really. It's really too sad. Something really drastic has to be done to make sure that this inflation is being reduced drastically. And so, sincerely, how then do we avoid inflation and meet security challenges now? Do we avoid it or do we reduce? Because I'm just confused.
We will reduce. You can't avoid it. We will reduce.
Wow.
Government has to be deliberate in its spending, monetary policies. Don't forget that we have a weak naira as well. So the naira has to be strengthened. We have to also improve on our trade deficit that we have. We are more of an import-dependent nation. It shouldn't be so. In the last administration, we celebrated the production of pencils. What a shame, giant of Africa. So we should be able to do more. Our preference for imported goods should also be reduced. Let us buy Nigeria.
But we're talking of pencil.
Nigeria.
We're talking of pencil. We have done well, and that's why we celebrated it. Even toothpick, we still import toothpick, as small as it is. Toothpick, we import it. So if we produce a pencil, glory be to God. But really, what a shame.
Government has to also
how many years in Nigeria? 64 years.
Government has no. The federal government has no role to play in sharing palliatives to people. That should be a local government affair. The government should put in place social infrastructure, roads, rail lines. You see, you hear people talk about multiple taxation. It scares investors. They should create an enabling environment where investors can come in, set up factories. Those factories, or even the local investors, set up businesses that will take people off the streets, take people away from crime. But that deliberate action is not being visibly seen. It's not. So, if I put a question to us all here, see, how many jobs can we say the government has created? They need to
set their priority right, honestly.
It is just about political jobs.
Yes. They need to set their priority right.
Even the federal civil service, have they recruited? How many can they even take off the streets? Yes, a few investors are doing their best. Refineries opening, assembly plants coming. We should do more to encourage more people. More foreign investments are also leaving. Yes, we know many are on the queue to come in, but then let us make it a level playing ground so that they can all come in and invest and employ our people. When this business of motorcycle riding started in the 80s, it was as a result of a bad economy. People were laid off and they didn't have anything to do than to buy motorcycles and started doing Okada. Motorcycles were not part of our transport system.
Let alone Kekemaru now.
Not alone, yeah. They were not. So these are things that government has to be deliberate about. Then we have to keep them on their toes. It is not about now my brother did there, now my sister did there, now my tribe person.
You have to work in power.
We have to hold them accountable. There are states where the governor's convoy is huge. But if you ask yourself how many hospitals are working there, sorry to say, none. Which is why you have we have doctors all over the world.
Our police officers are more attached to individuals.
Yes,
than watching the
we have about 370,000 policemen. Imagine
8.
All the ministers, 48. All the National Assembly members, 300 and something, having one policeman each. What remains? Bank executives, local government chairmen, commissioners.
Some private businessmen and all that, women.
The rest is better imagined.